So what's Dola Sura? I am Seraphis, the procrastinating space pirate, and today's video is gonna get weird. How weird? I'm gonna be talking about the Tales of the Valiant Mechanist, but I can't help bringing up the baggage of the D&D 5e Artificer, so bear with me. Okay, let's roll this. Okay, so there's no way to really talk about this without bringing up the big, fat, bloated dead elephant in the room. D&D 5e's Artificer. If you've never heard me comment before, I mega loathe the 5e Artificer. I consider it a sham on the legacy of the 2e Gnome Artificer and the 3 Eberron Artificer. Even the 4e Eberron Artificer was better than this current D&D Artificer. It at least didn't treat it like some pop culture gimmick. Though, that being said, the 4e Artificer had clear video gamey logic to the class and abilities, and I don't like that. Anyway. As this is a brand new launch, the Player's Guide presents only 2 subclasses. However, before we look at that, let's talk about the base class. To walk the path of the Mechanist is to open up the back of the universe, observe its moving parts, and restructure them as suits your needs. That's literally in the class description. So, what does that mean? At level 1, you gain Eyes of the Maker and Shard of Creation, the former being the ability to touch any magic item and know all its magical properties, as the Identify spell basically. And the latter gives you a polymorphic Omni tool that can shapeshift into your crafting enchanting tool and give you a skill bonus, or transform into any medium weapon of your choice, which has charges equal to your intelligence modifier to do both those things. At level 2, you gain augments and efficient action, the former being your infusions that are more akin to the 3.5 Artificer, but with more diversity in design, and the latter being the ability to do use an object as a bonus action. You know, like a staff, rod, wand, alchemist item, scroll, or potion. Yeah. At level 3, and again at 7th, 11th, and 15th, you get the Mechanist subclasses, and I'll talk about those later. At level 4, and again at 8th, 12th, 16th, and 19th, you get your improvement. You can raise any attribute by 2, raise 2 attributes by 1, or raise 1 attribute by 1 and pick up a talent from the martial or technical lists. Talents are TOV's versions of feats. At level 5, you gain multi-attack, meaning when you take the attack action on your turn, you get to attack twice. At level 6, you gain Rapid Augment, where you can use a bonus action to augment an item you touch, and you can do this a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. At level 9, you gain Greater Creation, which improves your Shard of Creation. Inspire now gives a d8 instead of a d6, and the Transform ability can now assume a large item object, which is pretty cool. At level 10, you get the choice of your Heroic Boon. Both of these are once per long rest, but come on, check this out. Curse of Unmaking makes a creature or object you hit with a melee spell attack vulnerable to all damage types. It can roll to resist after each attack, but that's a hell of a bane. Mend the Broken allows you to heal or repair a touched object by 5 times your Mechanist level, also restoring catastrophic damage, such as a broken magic item or lost limbs off of a creature. That is awesome. At level 13, you gain Engineer's Insight, which allows you to treat any d20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10, as long as you have 1 minute of uninterrupted focus on the task. Basically, combat breaks the focus, but moving doesn't, and there's no limit to it. At level 14, you gain Ranged Augment, which gives you the ability to use your augments at range, within 60 feet of you. No longer do you need to touch an item as long as it's within 60 feet. Wham bam, thank you, Mechanist. At level 17, you gain the Always Prepared ability that gives you the ability to use an object as a reaction when you would take damage. Now, I'm not going to suggest anything here. I wouldn't dream of it. Progenitor dragons forbid. I should suggest Runestone scribed with a heal, or an Alchemist Fire suicide bombing, or a Wand retaliation. Oh dear, I just did that, didn't I? I'm getting serious Carneth Wonder Depth vibes from this. At level 18, you gain Perfect Creation of your Shard of Creation. Inspire now gives a D10 bonus, and Transform now allows for huge size transformations with no restrictions. Oh, yes, no restrictions. They even specify it can transform into a huge size vessel or structure. Did you know a Sky Coach is huge? And no cost restriction on that feature either. So, yes, Sky Coach. And now at level 20, you get the epic boon, granting you the awesome power of Creative Engine. You gain a +1 bonus on saves for each active augment, and if you fail the save, you can immediately end an augment to succeed instead. By the way, augments aren't like spell slots, you can cast them as much as you want, just as long as you keep within your number of imbued items limit. Yeah, this has literally no drawback because as a bonus action, you can just re-augment the item you just ended the augment on. I won't go through the 13 augments that any Mechanist build can use just yet, so let's jump into the subclasses. The Metallurgist subclass turns the Mechanist into a combo Maleficer Blastificer, a frontline tank of a Mechanist who can eventually become impervious to damage for 1 minute and can make their armor magical, gain the absorbing augment to become immune to a damage type, and so on. And you can use your strength or intelligence for your attacks as a metallurgist. I think we can officially classify this as Tankificer. The Spellwright subclass turns the Mechanist into the Artificer of Old, penultimate battlefield crafting at your fingertips. You begin learning 2 spells of your choice from any type of magic source of level 1, and can learn as many as 11 spells of up to 4th level at level 20 in the Spellwright. Why is this cool? Battlefield scrolls, Battlefield ones, Battlefield magic items. Oh, and they last until indefinitely. Why? Because it's an augment ability. Okay, so technically not all augments can be used an unlimited number of times. For example, the Spellwright subclass's Imbue spell ability has the limited number of uses per long rest, but there are others which do have unlimited number of uses. Some, like the Detection augment, recharge their ability after a long rest. Okay, so let's talk augments. And I'm going to need you to embrace your inner Chaos Space Goblin to really understand the beauty in some of these. Also, after ninth level, all augments gain an improvement. Adhesive gives an item the ability to stick to a surface, supporting up to 1,000 pounds of weight. It provides some rules and stuff for something trying to remove the object that has the adhesive augment on it, but come on. Collapsible makes an object shrink in size, also reducing its weight. A command can return the object back to its original size, but it can't be used consecutively on the same object. But I think we all know what we can do with this. Detecting turns an object, eyewear as such, into a seeing object. You can choose from dark vision, invisivision, magic vision, and x-ray vision out to 30 feet. It can be used for up to 1 minute, after which it requires a long rest to function again. But it can also be changed uh, between uses. Empower grants a weapon a +1 attack and damage bonus, and if it was already magical or had a bonus, this stacks. No downsides, no notes. Elusive allows an object to be disguised as something else of similar design. For example, a vehicle still has to look like a vehicle, a side weapon still needs to be of that general size, etc. And the illusion is foiled if touched. However, everything else about its criteria is up to the Mechanist, which Loading makes a weapon with the ammunition property always be magically loaded with the appropriate ammo, and the ammo is considered magical. Now, I'm not saying in a vampire game you should put this on a crossbow for a hail of arrows type situation, and whatever you do, don't pull a Berghoff Marcus from Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. I'm a bad person. Phosphorescent gives you the ability to make an item or a number of items up to your intelligence modifier shed bright light up to 20 feet and dim light up to another 20 feet and be whatever color you want. But you know what the kicker? At level 9, you can make that light sunlight. I'm telling you, vampire game. Propulsive allows you to imbue an item, generally boots, but jewelry should work too, with a movement speed increase of 5 feet, and you can move up vertical surfaces by 10 feet. So, this is like haste and spider climb, the light version. At higher levels, this goes up all the way to 20 feet. Nice. Protean lets you augment a weapon to change its damage type. At first, I thought this was just a slashing, bludgeoning, piercing thing, but I can't find that restriction, so I think it applies to all damage types. So you could turn a magical slashing sword into a magical fire sword. This really is designed to kill vampires, isn't it? Reactive is kind of a. I'll explain it like this. You make an object react when a certain triggering event is met. Now, there are some limitations on this, but mostly it says that the Mechanist should work with the GM on these specifics. And I'm going to leave it there. This does give examples, but the imagination on this one is just that, is way more fun. Reinforced makes an item with hit points gain 5 times your Mechanist level in additional hit points. A part of me didn't really see a lot of use in this outside of a vehicle, but silly me, some constructs are items. Oh, Monster Vault, I'll get you soon. Returning allows you to imbue an item with the ability to teleport back to your hand, as long as it's within 60 feet. Basically, the returning property, but it teleports. But then we get into the higher level stuff, and at 9th level, the range is 120 feet, and at 15th level, that range is, well, the same plane as you. Yeah. No notes. Repellent is a fun one. It makes an object that attacks you force a DC against your augment or be pushed 15 feet away. Cool. But think about that from a chaotic perspective for a moment. Oh no, you attacked me near a ledge and boing. No notes. What a fine way to end the general augments for the Mechanist class. Let's wrap this up now, shall we? So, when compared to the full class and subclass of the Artificer in 5e Eberron or Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, the Mechanist class of the Tales of the Valiant, hands down, does what the class in D&D should have been doing, rather than being turned into a pop culture caricature of a class. And the fact that Kobold Press made the Mechanist a core class with their first edition of Tales of the Valiant, and yet WotC has once again failed to make the Artificer a core class, despite the fact that the Artificer existed before the Warlock. The Artificer going all the way back to AD&D 2nd edition. Yeah. If you care about the multi-tool creativity of a role-playing class, play Tales of the Valiant's Mechanist. Although, for the love of the Progenitor Dragons, use the 3rd edition crafting guide. It's superior, okay? It's in the core DMG. That's all you need. It's simple. Well, thanks for maybe listening to this ramble. I don't know. I started talking and words came out. Currently broke as shit because I was able to afford a second monitor and a new HD webcam, so I don't know. I might start making these with my Space Pirate face instead of that 420 pixel shit cam I got for $20. And to show my other shit, I have a podcasty thingy with my partner Grimschool. She has a channel talking about books, but our pods have been not about books. And I'm doing a Sunday stream called Talk and Drek with Game Masters and Gaming with ADHD, with others joining us, well, along the way. It's a lot more casual and it's just talking about whatever from the week. Anyway, that's me done. Nexus and transmission.